What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj. Today, we have another NBA playoffs recap. We had a few game threes last night. That would be the Cavs-Pacers game, the Raptors-Bucks game, and the Spurs-Grizzlies game. And I feel like with each day, the playoffs are just getting more and more interesting. We're seeing everybody progress. We're seeing this crazy stuff happen. You know, our playoff storylines are really developing. And we have our first one. I'm gonna get right into this because these take a while. I mean, man, I can talk a lot about these games because these are so interesting. They're packed with storylines and stuff like that. So, Cavs Pacers game 3. We're in Indiana for the first time, and going into this game, I had the Pacers winning this game. I thought, look, we're gonna have the Cavs winning 5 games. The Pacers are gonna take 1 at home. But that's gonna be all. That was my prediction, so I was picking game 3 because I think, if the Pacers get down 3-0, then they're losing the fourth probably. The morale is gonna be destroyed. I don't see how they operate on that. And after what happened last night, their morale, it's been annihilated. I mean, how would you feel after choking a 26-point lead in the playoffs in a must-win game? I mean, if the Pacers win this game, we got a series, I would say. Because if you look at how much they're up in this game, even though I picked them to win and then to lose in 5, they were up by 26. They were making a killing in this first half. They scored 37 in the first and second quarter. And that's ridiculous. They got a 21-point second quarter from Paul George. They were getting so much energy off the bench from Kevin Seraphin, Lance Stevenson, and everything was going their way. We even got this fucking monster jam from Miles Turner that I couldn't believe my eyes. This thing was disgusting. And at that point, I was thinking, yeah, okay, so the Pacers are going to take this one. And then, we'll see what happens. But I probably would have still stuck with Cavs in 5. Because I feel like if the Cavs get blown out, they're going to bounce back. They tend to do that. Great teams tend to bounce back. No one bounces back better than LeBron James. And the evidence of that was the second half of this game. Bounce back from the first half. I mean, the Cavs really looked terrible in that first half, especially on the defensive end. But in the second half, it was really just a game of offense. I mean, the Indiana offense was going nuts in the first half, and the Cavs offense was going nuts in the second half. LeBron James took this game over, and it wasn't the Cavs. I'm not going to sit here and act like the Cavs just caught fire in the second half. We saw LeBron James at his greatest. This is what it's like to see the best player on earth play his best basketball. I mean, it really was a show of greatness, and LeBron James put up 41, 13, 12 in this game. He had something like 27 in the second half, 6 and 8, 0 turnovers, I think. I mean, he was ridiculous. He was hitting all these threes. They couldn't match him. You could look at the expression on LeBron's face. I mean, he knew, okay? He hit a few shots and he knew what was going to happen. He knew how this shit was going to end. And it ended with a W for Cleveland. They beat the Indiana Pacers after coming back from a 26-point third quarter lead. They shredded that lead in the third quarter too. I mean, they outscored the Pacers by 18 in the third quarter. That lead was an 8-point lead going into the fourth, where they outscored the Pacers by 12 more points. Incredible job. And one of the most incredible things, and the reason why I said it's just LeBron, is because Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, neither of those guys were in the game at the end of this game. They were benched in the fourth quarter, and Kevin Love 4 of 12, Kyrie Irving 4 of 17, and neither of these guys are very good on defense, especially Kyrie Irving. So they went with Channing Frye and Darren Williams, and boy, did that work out. I mean, they were great with these guys on the floor. Smart play. Okay, Channing Frye was hitting a bunch of shots. It really went the Cavs' way with that lineup, and it's just like another LeBron James answering the bell about, okay, well, this Cavs team, it's a playoff team. Doesn't matter what happens in the regular season. And honestly, I've said it before, I hate that. I don't like that a team can just coast to the regular season and be this good in the playoffs. It's just, well, let's not talk about that because look, they got it done. And my evaluation of, are the Cavs back in playoff mode like they've been in last season? Look, they got 3 wins, but all of these wins have been decided by 4 or 5 points, I would say. They got down 26 to the Indiana Pacers, and they're still giving up more points than any team has ever given up that had a 3-0 lead. In the playoff series, after 3 games of play, no other team has given up as many points as the Cavs have given up with a 3-0 lead. That in itself, it raises concern because they're playing the Pacers. The Pacers might be the best possible opponent for the Cavs. It really might. Find another team in the Eastern Conference that the Cavs would rather play. I mean, hey, maybe the Raptors. But I don't know, maybe the Celtics. But look, they're playing a lower seed team, and they didn't want to play the Bulls. But so they play the Pacers, a team where we're all pretty sure the Cavs can definitely beat the Pacers. I don't see any problem with this. And they're not blowing the Pacers out. They're barely winning these games. And look, I give them credit for closing it out, but they have a long way to go. We're not at the playoff Cavs point right now. When they get a 30-point win or 30-point win, and they can hold the team under 100 points, then maybe we could start to go there, but not yet. Paul George had 36 in this game. He had 36, 15, and 9. He absolutely killed it until that, he mostly in the first half was when he did his work. But, after that, it just wasn't very pretty. And yeah, Cavs came back. LeBron James came back from a 26-point lead, as a lot of people are saying. Yeah, the man's bad. Best player in the world. He's proving it. He's proving why. That shit's crazy. On to the next game. This one was another one that really did wonders for the basketball world. It's an impact win is what I mean. The Cavs-Pacers game, that was an impact win for the Cavs because of the comeback. The Bucks-Raptors game, Game 3, Milwaukee and Toronto tied 1 apiece. They're in Milwaukee. This was an impact win in terms of the Bucks absolutely smoked the Raptors in this game. I mean, it was over really in the first quarter. And after that, the Bucks, they won each quarter after that until, the fourth. They lost the fourth quarter because, they had their subs in. They only won this game by 27, but they were up by 30 for probably most of this game, I would say. And it's not like one player really got off for this team. I mean, we really just saw a fantastic, probably almost, I would say, a perfect team win for the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis, 19 points, 8 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He was 7 of 10. Chris Middleton had 20 points. He was 8 of 15. He was the leading scorer for the team. He had 7 assists. Malcolm Brogdon had 4 points, 9 assists, 7 boards. He filled the stat sheet up. Thon Maker had 11. Greg Monroe with 16 and 7 off the bench. Michael Beasley at 13. I mean, we had a bunch of guys in double figures, 6 guys in double figures for the Milwaukee Bucks in this game. And then for the Toronto Raptors, their leading scorer was Kyle Lowry, and he had 13 points in 35 minutes. DeMar DeRozan did not make a field goal. That was the biggest headline from this game, is that DeMar DeRozan did not make a single shot in this game. He was 0 of 8, 8 points, minus 23. I really had no impact with the game. My boy Tony Snell locking him up. Yes, Tony Snell, the ex-Bull, who of course had to just get so much better after leaving the team. He's playing his best basketball of his career by far. I mean, he only had 5 points in this game, but he was plus 27. I mean, he was putting the clamps on DeMar DeRozan, and yeah, he was guarding him. Now, what does this game mean for this team? Which team should I talk about? I want to talk about the Raptors first, because I'm sorry, but the Raptors are the top seed. Their expectations in the playoffs are probably better than they've ever been. I know they didn't win as many games as they won last year, but they have a better team than they had last year. DeMar and Kyle Lowry are both better than they were last year. They got Serge Ibaka. That's huge for, a playoff acquisition. PJ Tucker on that bench is critical as well. Valanciunas, don't forget about him. He's a good third. Now he's the fourth guy. He's, if he's your fourth best player on your team, I think you have a pretty solid squad. And the Raptors had legit championship aspirations this year. And I said they were a dark horse for the Eastern Conference before the season started. I probably shouldn't have said that, because every single year we see the same thing from the Toronto Raptors. We see Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan just not look anything like their regular season selves. 4 of 18 combined in this game. Like, what are you guys doing? This is not a playoff formula. You're not going to win like this. They're playing a 6-seed Bucks team who are hungry. The Bucks are looking like a well-seasoned playoff team that's been here, done that. They're looking like a championship team the way they're playing. Like, I'm being honest right now. I'm not saying they're contenders for the NBA Finals, but I'm saying the way they're playing, the way they've played in these first 3 games. In that game 1, they looked like a championship team playing against the Raptors, who, they were shook this game. I mean, really, I thought it was the home crowd. I mean, that really threw them off their game in this one. They couldn't get anything to go. They had no momentum whatsoever from the get-go. And the Bucks had all the momentum in this game, and it didn't take long for them to put them out of their misery. So I said the Bucks, they look like a championship team. I hope no one takes that like way out of context, because I'm really just talking about, their morale, what they're doing to win. They're just playing solid. They're playing like a team. I really respect that. I think that gets a team far. And in a few years, this team's easily a championship contender. And if they do things right, they could win a few. I'm just being honest right there. So our last game today, or for yesterday, we had the Spurs in Memphis. This game coming fresh off of David Fizdale's post-game rant about the refs not giving them the calls they deserve. And Memphis came out and made a huge statement in this game, led by Michael Conley, 24 points, 8 assists, the guy that I'm steadily saying probably the most underrated player in the NBA. He's so effective on both ends. He can do everything that you need from a point guard. Just doesn't receive the credit he deserves. Gasol and Randolph combined for 42. Zach Randolph in the starting lineup this game. They put Jermichael Green on the bench. He played, but he didn't start this game, and he came off the bench. He was great. He was plus 17 in 24 minutes. He had 8 points, 6 boards. And for the San Antonio Spurs, a game that a lot of people expect them to win, the Spurs, they got 18 out of Kawhi Leonard, but they actually benched their starters later in this game because they wanted to see what that second unit could do, because Greg Popovich, look, he didn't like what he was seeing from the starters in this one after a while. It was close for basically the whole first half, but in the third quarter, the Grizzlies pulled away, and by the end of this game, it was over. Like the last few minutes of the game, we all knew who was coming home with the dub. And if you're surprised by this win, don't be, because the Grizzlies can do this. The Grizzlies proved all season they were another one of these teams that they play to their competition's level. I mean, they could hang with the Spurs. They could beat the Spurs in a few games. I did say I think that the Spurs will win in 5. I'm not going to change that prediction because it looks pretty realistic right now. I can see the Spurs bouncing back, taking this game 4, and then they're at home for game 5, and I fully expect them to win that game. But yeah, I mean, this game was definitely a statement by the Grizzlies. They can hang with this team. If people didn't know already, it didn't look like it. And something that I noticed, and something that I'm observing here from the Grizzlies in those first 2 games, in game 1, they only played great for 1 quarter. In game 2, they only played great for a second half. So they had a good quarter in the first game, a good half in the second game, and in this third game, they played a full, complete game, and look what happened. They won the game. That's what they do. It's just consistency is hard to come by for this team. They're getting it together. I do like the direction here. They get a win. Hopefully, they get some momentum and maybe make this series a little more interesting. And yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. But no, I still don't think they're gonna win any of the next 2 games. But look, it would be sick to see a game 6 or 7 in this series. I think that would be awesome. And actually, yeah, I just realized I forgot to talk about my predictions for the Toronto Milwaukee series. I originally had, I think, Raptors in 6. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna say Bucks in 6. Yes, I'm gonna say Bucks in 6. I think they'll win 2 of the next 3, and they'll take the dub. I think they could probably win game 4, lose 5, and win 6. I think that's pretty safe. I'm changing it. They made me change it, so hopefully my second prediction doesn't go wrong. Now for today's games, we have Boston and Chicago, which is headlined by huge news about Rajon Rondo. Very unfortunate. I'm really disappointed about this. Rajon Rondo fractured his thumb. He's out indefinitely and most likely out for this series. It would be a miracle if he even returns for like a game 6 or 7 if necessary in this series. The Bulls lead 2-0 over the Boston Celtics, and it'll need, we're going to have to see. Can the Bulls team still do what they did in games 1 and 2 without Rajon Rondo? Good news is they're playing at home. So hopefully we can catch this dub and go up 3-0 and pretty much put all those news of us collapsing to rest. I hope. I mean, look, anything can happen. It's the NBA playoffs. We are an 8 seed. We are the Chicago Bulls. You know what we do. But yeah, a win tonight. We'll be a lot more comfortable where we're at. Now, another game tonight. The Rockets in Oklahoma City. This one could be very fun. We get to see a Thunder home game. Russell Westbrook do his thing, hopefully. First game since going 4 of 18 in the fourth quarter and posting the worst 50-point triple-double you'll ever see. And man, if the Rockets win this game, it's over. It's over. But the Thunder win this game, we could have a series. If Thunder get 2 wins in OKC, we definitely have a series. and hopefully Russell can get like a good triple-double this time, please. And we also have late the Clippers in Utah for game 3. That series is tied 1-1. My predictions for these games, I forgot to do predictions yesterday, but my predictions for today, I got Boston winning, unfortunately. I got, for the Houston OKC game, I said OKC would get one game. I think this is going to be the game. I'll pick OKC for this one. Clippers in Utah, I'm going to go Clippers. We'll see when Rudy Gobert comes back. That will really change the complexion of this series. But right now, I think the Clippers have it in control. You know, they're playing against a team without Rudy Gobert. That's huge. You need to capitalize, and I think they will. Until he comes back, there will be some further doubt about that. That's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, comment, your predictions for today's games, what you thought of yesterday's games, what does it mean for LeBron's legacy for this comeback game. Are the Cavs back? What does that mean? Are the Raptors done? Are the Raptors just, have no hope as a playoff team ever? Should they split up and, never play with each other again because this team doesn't work? Is that what you guys think? Are the Bucks a championship contender in the next few years? Yeah, let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you're new. I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.